Hey, welcome to Butcher Bay Rejects. I'm Mark.
I'm Greg. How you doing, nerds?
What's up, bud? How are you doing this week?
Well, I was off, so I watched a lot of TV, sir. A lot of TV. How about you? Did you get it all done?
Got it in, got it done. Even got in some other stuff, but has nothing to do with what we're doing.
Okay. Well, what we're doing is we're doing Winning Time, Rise of the Lakers Dynasty, episode 8, called California Dreamin'. Such a winter's day. Season 42, episode 9 of Survivor, called Game of Chicken. And then we're getting into the penultimate episode of Moon Knight, episode 5, called Asylum. Came out on Wednesday. And your beloved Picard. Don't want to jump ahead. Picard, episode 9, called Hide and Seek. And then Halo, episode 6, called Solace.
Yes, sir.
And unbeknownst to me, that was the final episode of Tokyo Vice. Has not yet been renewed for season 2, but we're still waiting. But at any rate, that was episode 8, called Yoshino. And we're going to give our review of Uncharted, starring Mark Wahlberg, Tom Holland, directed by Ruben Fleischer. All right. So,
yes.
Winning Time. Still don't know how many episodes there are of Winning Time, but at any rate, I love how they started off this episode with John C. Reilly talking about Roger Bannister. And, you know, I know that story, but I never tired of hearing it. And like he took it back to the Roman times for 2,000 years. You know, that was the mile. And everyone said it was impossible, just like, you know, the Lakers winning a championship. But
yeah, exactly.
Guy wasn't even a runner, says, yeah, I'll take a stab at it, and got it in like 3 minutes, 59 seconds. So I like, and obviously the archival footage. And what happened? What happened? What was it? 2 or 4 months later, another guy
46 days.
Oh yeah, 46 days, and another guy takes it on too. So just took one person.
And do you remember?
It, right?
And do you remember his name?
Exactly.
No.
Nobody does. Yeah.
I was like, okay, that was harsh. That's kind of like, oh man,
well,
he's right.
Like Bus, even if he came and lost by 1 point in the final, people are only going to remember like who won the NBA Finals that year.
No, exactly. You know, it's the win. You know, history is written by the victor, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, no, I mean. This show is I'm chomping at the bit for things to happen, and it's just like, get it, you know, like how many times has Pat Riley got to stand up front and do something and not get picked?
Yeah, exactly. Good thing it didn't happen that way in real life, but because there was a lot of drama in this show, this episode because of
big time.
Jack McKinley might be coming back. He says he's coming back. Now you got to go fire Pat. Well, I don't want to. You know, we built this thing, so holy crap.
Okay, now answer me this.
Yeah.
Jack go like from 0 to prick in no time.
Yeah, well, he kind of gave me that impression even before his injury, but yeah.
Well, I mean, he was a bit of a hard ass to as a coach, but whatnot. But when he laid into Westhead, and when he just kind of like, I think the injury made him like super paranoid, right? You're trying to stab me in the back. You're trying to, you know, like. Well,
yeah, because he sees and he probably knows he's not the same either, you know, but he's still going to try and grasp at his glory there.
And I mean, Westhead under so much pressure gets a kidney stone, pee and blood.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. Like I was waiting for him to break, you know. It's like Marshmallow's playing that real submissive.
Yeah. Oh, poor Marshmallow. Yeah.
But you know they're right. They're saying let us finish the season and you come back next year. You're not taking this away from me. You know, like. So much drama. Even paranoia went right through this whole episode. You know, Hayward just kind of like going all crazy like.
Yeah,
and Jack stirred that pot too.
Yeah. How about Magic getting the wool pulled over his eyes by Dr. J? Dr. J being all friendly to him and then just totally owns him on the court.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah. No.
Never meet your idol, you know.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I watched that. I was like, oh, yeah. You never meet your heroes. But then, you know, at the end, you had Jerry West kind of saying, do you want to win or do you want to be liked?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, it was just, there was a lot going on in it. I mean, and all the emotional drama in the Bus family too. Man, did they do a good makeup job on Sally Field to make her look like hell.
Yeah, that was, but I don't know.
It was hard to look at.
But that scene with, oh God, I don't know how to describe it. That scene with Bus where he basically, breaks down with the nurse.
I know.
Boy, I'm trying to root for you there, Jerry. But
well, that's just it. You're rooting for him in the beginning, but then you're like, oh, yo,
he was showing.
You didn't, don't. Oh, you did.
Yeah,
you
I thought she was just going to be the shoulder to cry on, but no, he starts groping at her breasts, and she's like, oh God, he had just offered to pay for my schooling, and he is hurting, but what do I do here? Oh, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you turn it away, you lose all your funding and kind of lose your dream, and this is an easy way. But then you had Genie Bus before giving him shit. You're fucking the nurse. Yeah. Not yet. Yeah. But I'm gonna give it the college try.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was just straight up manipulation, just so hard. It's like, okay, now I don't like you as much as I did before.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just a complete shit on that one.
Yep. Can't defend that one. Okay.
No. There is no defending that. That was just outright wrong.
Yep.
I'm sure the woke people are just going absolutely stupid over that one.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't heard from the Bus family denying all that. We've heard from West and Kareem, but yeah, we haven't heard.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
So yeah, must be some. It was the 80s. It was a crazy time, but yeah. Anyway, it's still.
Put that side by side with the dirt and kind of go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
although we love the 80s, we do.
Yeah, we do. I kind of like to stay on Winning Time more because I don't really want to talk about this Survivor episode. I'd rather stay away from that whole thing that went down. I'd rather not comment on it at all. Suffice to say that, we all saw it. It became really a story about race and.
Well, I mean. The only thing I want to put out there on that one is okay, yes, circumstance did have those.
Let's just say we both agree though. You and I, it really had nothing to do with color. They were annoying their tribe mates in some way, especially
it was all behavior.
Roxroy.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's
it wasn't. Yeah, that's what I like. It doesn't matter what color, what size you are. If you're annoying at camp, guess what? If you talk down and condescend people and tell them to do stuff, you're going to get voted out. It's just that simple. It has nothing to do with what color.
I mean, let's look at it this way. Okay, if Romeo had gotten voted out. Mm-hmm. That conversation would never have happened.
Well, no, because then you'd have I think an Asian and an African American sitting there. But but I mean, it's just hard to watch all that, and it's hard to watch two players really. That was extremely emotional, and it was extremely. She stopped playing the game. She says, "I can't put her name down," even though she was supposed to. She goes, "I can't do it," and I get that. My heart ached for her, but then at that point, you're not playing for $1 million anymore. So.
No, but I mean, if you go through the footage, you go through the thing. I mean, reality, race really had nothing to do with it. It was all about behavior. And even, not too long ago, even Roxroy was getting Andrea's nerves. She wanted him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I guess. All it takes is a side eye, a camp, and that's it. You're gone. Oh, he looked at me funny, and that's how it becomes. It's nothing to do with color.
I think obviously, there was very strong feelings there, and not to take anything away from that. Yeah,
no, but I get it. I get it. You just walk in, and because of he split the challenge, you literally walked in. One team walked in, voted off Roxroy. So I get it. There's two African Americans sitting there, and that's a powerful image. I get it. Yeah. But then Jonathan, started chiming in, and I mean, let's take a step back. Jonathan, I mean, do you think he would have? Okay, he won the last immunity. Do you think he would have talked like that? Because if he didn't have that necklace, or did he forget he was? I don't understand what he was doing. I started to seeing the cracks now in his armor.
I think he.
Like he was talking down to people like, no, we're going to do this. And then when she said a plan.
He tried. If I was Jonathan after winning that immunity and whatnot, I would have just walked around camp and listened. Just listen to everybody. Yeah. What do you think? You know, when Lindsay was trying to talk to, okay, well, what do you want to go with this? All right. How do you think that will go? What do you think?
If he
and
didn't
just
have
get
that,
everybody's input and just like play it that way.
If he didn't have that necklace, I swear they would all been on him the way he was doing. I'm wondering if that emboldened him a little bit that he was wearing.
I think it did. I think it did. He's like he's safe, so he's trying to make a move, but. That move kind of might have, keep winning those immunities, bud, because.
Yeah. And first of all, hats off, because there's no way like that should have been won by, he beat the last woman standing.
Oh, yeah. He beat Lindsay.
Yeah.
But then it was him and High.
Completely 90 degrees bent, maybe more so than 90. And that's what his lower back must have been like shooting needles of pain into him because
my God.
Because he's so tall. The center of gravity is higher, but he was, I kept watching him. Nobody else was 90 degrees. It was just him. Like, oh my God, but he still pulled it off, which he should not have won with the size of his feet.
Yeah. See, I mean, I'm that kind of size too. I'm not as buff as he is, but I mean, I would have gotten like crouched down a little bit. That way I could absorb some of the shock of the waves a little bit.
Yeah. And look how they were coming in. Like, and I thought, he doesn't have a chance. And sure enough, somehow. You know what?
If High hadn't fallen off or Lindsay hadn't fallen off because of the waves. If they had, because they were supposed to go up, right?
Yeah.
If they had
that's what I was saying.
You would have lost it.
Or even if it was calm, because I've seen this challenge numerous times in many seasons. They always do it because sometimes it goes more than an hour. That's on a calm day.
Yeah.
And I said, if the waters were calm, he never would have gotten that far, because as you saw, the rungs get, the bigger your feet, and those rungs get smaller and smaller, Well,
even just trying to transition to the next one, because I don't think you could touch the thing while trying to transition. Transition. I think he gives you a chance when they go up. I think it's not long, but you do get a chance. So you can touch and move your feet up, and then
exactly. Yeah,
because if they weren't allowed to touch, you would never have gotten it.
Yeah, and then and right before Roxroy got voted off, he was trying to do a all dudes alliance. And of course this didn't sit well with your Omars and your Highs and
Well, you know what I mean,
Romeos.
Well, that's just it. It's like. All of these guys are quote unquote alpha males, right? So if anything, any physical challenge, they're not winning. There's no way in hell they're winning.
No. And they're at the bottom of that core. There's always if you're a group of 5 alliance, there's always 2 that are at the bottom, right? So they knew where they stood anyway. So it wouldn't have made sense for them to make an all dudes alliance.
No. I mean, if anything, they would side with the girls, but then the girls could easily go all girls and then gone, So it's low man on the totem pole, being the low guy on the totem pole doesn't serve you well unless you can manipulate your way through it.
Yeah.
So far, Omar's got the chops, but I don't know if he can carry it all the way through.
Yeah. Well, and Jonathan's plan, like, Lindsay pointed out the problem, like she said, like if Drea plays the idol, then Marianne's voted out. He had that just dumb look on his face. I'm there, oh boy, you didn't think about that at all, did you? That should have been, there's only 2 ways that can go. She either plays it and,
Well, I think he wants Marianne out anyway. I mean, as far as when that little alliance starts to eat itself, he wants Marianne out first.
Yeah.
But, like I said, he's got to keep winning those idols because if he doesn't.
Yeah. And like I said, no one's ever won them all.
No.
One guy just missed the one he needed, the last one, but.
But, it's like. But, I mean, just the splitting them up and that just flipped the game completely.
Yep.
Yeah, flipped everything completely.
Getting harder and harder to win Survivor, believe me. Yeah. A lot of luck.
But now, like, 2 idols have been played. Mike's got the other one.
Yeah.
That's also going to be changing too. It's like, okay, how how is this going to go out? You know, and I mean, that emotional tribal just kind of threw things real. I'm curious to see what next week is going to be, because now that that's been brought into the situation, how is that going to change the dynamic? Right?
Yeah, and Jeff handled that really, really well. Like, he's very,
he did.
like,
He did.
he's there. Okay, we'll skip the pomp and circumstance of going up there to vote. Do you want to do it here? Because so you're saying you're both playing your idols. Okay, you can't vote for Jonathan, so Tori plays her shot in the dark. Of course, the shot in the dark yet again doesn't work. So
so
she
I
gets,
mean, it's
sent home.
I mean, she was a target anyway, but I mean.
Yeah.
Yes, it was smart, on Jonathan's part, looking at Drea because she's got an idol. And if all this didn't happen, she wouldn't have played it and gotten voted off. But again, then that becomes, it becomes a controversy where there really isn't any controversy. But it's, I mean.
Well, like you say, we have to see how this all plays out next week.
Exactly. Because this just adds a whole new dynamic to the game. And like it's playing a game, it's not.
Well, you're supposed
I
to
hate saying
be
it doesn't
game,
represent, because I mean, everybody's there trying to represent something. They're there to win $1 million. I want to see if I can do it. No, you're there to win $1 million.
And actually, it's not even. It's really like 500,000 after Uncle Sam takes his cut. So they should be getting paid more, but they're not. But it's
you go on. I love Survivor. I want to be there. What was it? Was it High that said it? He goes, "Yeah, it looks great on TV, but when you're living it, it's horrible."
Oh, yeah. No, I want to go more than anything, but I know it's going to be hell. I mean, but I still want to go.
But the reason you're going, you're not trying to prove anything to yourself. You're not trying to prove it. You want to win the money.
Yeah. Actually, it's just, winning is more important. You want to play
the game.
Yes, that's more important than the money, actually. I would do it for free if they said, hands down. Hands down.
But I mean, everybody's saying, "Oh, I'm doing this because I'm this, and I have this, and I'm this, and I want to be the first, and I'm representing." It's like, you're there to win the fucking money. Let's be realistic about this. Let's play in reality here. But I mean, I digress. And
all right, let's move on.
I'll get shit on for saying it.
We're gonna move on to Moon Knight now. The penultimate episode.
All kinds of happenings.
Moon Knight less episode, but actually I still liked it because obviously we do some flashbacks, so we find out who Steven really is. He was an alter ego. Well, I mean, sad story, right? I mean, he blames himself for his brother's death, and
he was
beating him.
So exactly. I mean, it's a horrible upbringing, and it really just makes us realize where he's coming from, right? And like, Khonshu found him while he was wounded and whatnot, and played on all of that. So I was like, what was he manipulated, or did he just kind of like, okay, I need an out here?
He did give him a choice, though. Yeah. He's, I could let you die here in the stairs, or would you, would you? Well,
nobody wants to really die,
Yeah. And if you're getting imbued with special powers too, I would say, sign me up for that, And
exactly.
A cool suit.
Exactly. But I mean, realizing why he wasn't balanced, right? Why was
it took all that.
He had to let go of Steven, because Steven was his.
This episode and the Picard next we're going to be talking about are very similar in what they dealt with.
Letting go of the past, or letting go of a
and how the mothers were involved. Well, one mother turned very abusive toward her kid.
Would you call him a safety net?
Yes, because he knew he couldn't escape his situation. He knew his mom was going to break through that door, and then, even see the eyes go kind of white, whites of his eyes. So, I think that was his only way. Since he knew he's a little kid, he couldn't move. He couldn't run away. He only did that later when he was a teenager.
It was kind of his coping mechanism.
I would say from what he had to endure. Yeah, I mean, plus he probably did still blame himself, so he probably felt he deserved it.
We still have another personality that we haven't seen yet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's been hinted at.
So, I mean, that was the coffin that didn't, the sarcophagus that didn't get opened. So it's like, Yeah. You know, and at the end now he's in heaven, I guess.
Well, yeah, people were shocked at that, but I'm like, well, in reality, that he never existed.
Spector,
he was just, you know,
Mark did. It was
mind.
It was Steven that didn't exist. So I think.
Yeah, but Steven is the one that was taken from the boat, right?
Yes, Steven was the one that was taken, statue, and
right?
then.
Yes, but people online were like freaking out, like, guys, he's not real. You know, he might have been real to Mark, sure, but,
exactly.
You know.
But that's what Mark had to let go in order to balance his soul, in order to be admitted into the afterlife and not the down under. So yeah. No, I'm curious. Okay, well, how does the other one fit
Mark
in? You know, so
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, which in the comics, it's a guy named Jake Lockley. But again, yes, they have one episode left to introduce this guy after going to. So, yeah.
Well, I'm guessing the final episode is going to be a humdinger.
Well, yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I hope.
Well, you know what, Marvel hasn't failed
it would have
yet,
to be, right?
Right. And I mean, you got to remember, like, with the way Marvel has always worked, is they tell the story about the person, the costume is just part of that person, right? It's like with Spider-Man, the story's about Peter Parker and how he deals with life and being Spider-Man and being a high school student and trying to get good grades and help Aunt May and all that and be Spider-Man too. And it's that whole juggling act. Same thing, you know, with things like Wolverine. It's about Logan and his life. Wolverine is just part of it. So now we're seeing the parts of Mark Spector, and you know, now it's, you know, we've seen the costume and we're just waiting for it to come back. You know, we're waiting for him to escape this reality or escape this heaven or whatnot, and come back in, help Khonshu escape, and then Moon Knight the shit out of Harrow. And because I mean, you got to think that if Harrow is now what's the other god that Harrow is looking for? Amit, right? So now
Amit.
I mean, if he becomes Amit's avatar, and Khonshu, now it's a big Amit Khonshu fight with those two playing the Rock'em Sock'em robot versions of, you know. So that should be interesting. Yeah. Well, that should be interesting.
It will, sir. Now let's get into some more interesting Picard, hide and seek. As I mentioned, Jean-Luc had to go through his own little,
Yeah.
So we find out really how his mom dies in this episode. That wasn't what I was thinking. I thought when he opens the door, she's, chained to the bed or something. I didn't know that.
Well, you know what?
She was going to hang herself.
So much more to Picard, I think. Yeah.
And he let her out, right? So in a way, we get some more guilt, kind of like the Moon Knight, where, you know, he blames himself for letting her out. And when he did, she left his bed. And
well, I mean, you know, all through Next Generation, you know, Picard was like the ultimate captain, right? You know, he was the stainless steel, I guess you could say. Now you're finding a lot more about that. He was pretty damaged too. You know.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, because I just watched it in Moon Knight, I was perhaps focusing more on the whole Jurati and Borg Queen, which to me was pretty impressive. How a human convinced the Borg Queen that, you know, you can still be a Borg collective, but be a beacon for second chances. You know, I like that whole. I was not expecting that turnabout. You know, like what the, you know, and she went for it. So that whole storyline, I don't know. I can't get enough of that.
I think that was really well done. You know,
well, yeah, especially to the actress, because she's got to really pull off, because they added a bit more prosthetics to her, but she still has to be Jurati yet being the Borg Queen yet, like
and a little,
she
little walk in the
pulled it
buff
off.
to get her uniform. You saw a little push there, and it was like, well done, well done. I salute you.
Yeah, you did.
It was like.
So and this was the like Moon Knight. This is the penultimate episode. Next week,
how much of a prick was Sun?
Yeah, he's desperately trying to keep his hold on to his legacy or protect his legacy, future legacy for whatever that is. Of course, we had Elnor come back,
hologram.
But as the ship's I guess security hologram, because Jurati gave him the key.
Now
right,
I'm curious. Okay, how are they going to get back in time? Like, how are they going to?
Well, this is the whole confusing thing. She takes off, the Borg Queen takes the Serena, but hello, you're stranded. No. And no one seemed to have said anything about it. They're okay now. Like, what's interesting is, I don't know, get your thoughts on it. The whole Borg Queen was saying there has to be two Renee Picards. So what did you?
I'm like, I was confused at that. I haven't really pieced that one together.
I thought it meant, or it's going to mean that they're going to pull some kind of trick, and that Talon is going to, since she's the watcher, the protector of Renee, she's going to take the body of Renee, and she'll get herself killed, and they'll think, okay, we stopped the mission, but the actual mission goes off. Anyway, that's just a guess. It's not a spoiler. I'm just guessing, but that was how I took it.
I'm not. I really don't know. I don't know. There's one. See that right now, I'm pretty. Okay. Like, I haven't figured this out yet, and it's like, okay, that's kind of interesting because I usually do figure it out. And so I'm kind of like, okay, we're on our own here. All right. Let's knock my socks off. Cause I mean, I mean, one, I'm thinking, Christos is staying in the past.
Could be, since he's on the flight attendant now, banging Kaylee Cuoco, you jerk. Whatever.
You get too obsessed with internet women. Okay, TV person, and they're like, she's supposed to be mine. No, she's not.
She is. She was promised to me.
You actually have to come out of your basement in order to meet a woman. Okay, so yeah.
Never. I'm in the metaverse now. Thank you, Zuckerberg.
Just swipe right. You
have to talk to them. Okay.
Come visit me. Come visit me in the basement. Red flag.
That'd be cash or credit card. Yeah.
Halo.
All right, let's move on to some Halo. Let me ask you this. Did you start to hear McKee's Irish accent slip out every now and then? Because she's an Irish actress from Peaky Blinders. Every now and then I caught it, and I went and I looked her up.
No,
I
didn't pick up on that.
Irish. So did you notice that?
I was just more focused on really unraveling everything that they were doing. I mean, Halsey got ripped out of everything.
Were you waiting when McKee meets when she goes, "You're the demon"? Were you watching to see how she was going to gain confidence and edge herself closer to him, and then that little prick come out of her finger? Were you thinking that too? Like, I just have to close the distance here, and
No,
were you thinking that or no?
I think she was a lot more curious as to who he is to her, right? Because they seem to have the same, like, the DNA, but the DNA came from him.
We know that now, right?
So it's kind of like, is she like a female clone of him? Was she one of Halsey's experiments that got cast away?
Yeah, I keep thinking sister, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
We really see how the depths of where Halsey's going to go. I mean, she took John and left a clone that was made to expire. Like, come on.
Yeah, just like Roy Batty,
so it's kind of like
replicants there.
Oh man, like really. And I think with respect to that, I think Cortana is going to turn on Halsey and favor Master Chief. I mean, she does she's his right hand in the game, right? She's like, they go hand in hand. They're simpatico. So I think like realizing that, because I mean, she's made to think on her own too, right? She's programmed to do stuff, but she's also made to think on her own and respond on her own. And I think that, this kind of behavior is going to make a big whoops.
Yeah. And then we finally get to see Master Chief latches onto the artifact, one more time. His heart rate spikes, McKee feels the same thing while he's touching it. And I like that shot at the end where he sees a vision of himself and McKee standing with one another on Halo, on the ring on Halo.
Well, that's just it. It's I mean, she kind of, I guess you could say, taught him something when he said, just let it go. When you let go, then you can.
Well, yeah, but I always thought she was trying to kind of like a.
But I think she's curious to know what he can do or why he can do, or possibly where she comes from if that's the case. But no, it's just like once he got past that moment, and now he's like. He's seeing Halo, and I'm sitting there like going, yes. So I mean, I still get chills when the opening music comes on, and it's it's like it's from the game. We're getting ready to play, So it makes it work for me, like, and I have a theory. Everybody was talking about the taking off of the helmet and the armor and whatnot. I think it's the undersuit that regulates everything, and the helmet just clicks into that because he's always wearing that. I mean, they took it off to shower and cut the thing out of his back, but it's the ultimate Under Armour. No kidding. Clothing line should.
You know
what? If they came out with something, I'd buy it.
Yeah, sure.
Because why not?
Yeah, it's going to make you look that sleek and form fitting. Yeah, sign me up.
Yeah, exactly. I'm wondering how many more Halo cosplays are going to be out at Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, we won't see the standard one anymore because they'll have a lot more minutia. They'll have a good up. They're all taking screenshots of the suit now.
Silver Team and Oh yeah.
We'll have one without her helmet. She'll have red paint in her hair.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. There's going to be that. No, and did you read the stats on her? She's 6'3".
Yeah. No, I did. I follow her on Instagram now because I kind of have a thing for her now too.
she's like the new Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, exactly. It's also very impressive.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Well, there's going to be 9 episodes of Halo. We have 3 more, so tune in next week. Let's
3 more, huh?
Tackle
Tokyo
Vice.
You think they're going to get to the ring?
Well, I don't know. They're probably going to get renewed if they have not already. So I think they're going to save a bit of that. All right, let's get into Tokyo Vice because I know we can talk about Halo for 6 hours. So this was, unbeknownst to me, the finale, but the HBO Max has not yet launched but they did end it on a cliffhanger. But again, we saw what happened to Paulina finally, poor girl. So obviously that would be explored more in season 2, right? Now that he has the proof who somebody sent him.
That's just it. I think the tape
Yoshino,
of Paulina and Edelstein going to Kitsuri, that's the reason they're having that episode, that sit down that we saw in episode 1. We know what you're writing about. You're going to stop.
Yeah, because that happens after Tozawa gets back from. Well, he's left for the States. The private jet. He's going to the States for something liver related. But again, referring to the 60 Minutes interview that I watched, but very long time ago. But it's actually what it is actually the tattoos that are making the Yakuza sick.
Right.
Because that seeps into their bloodstream. So it's actually the tattooing method that and they cover
that's
3/4 of their body.
The tattooing method is tapping, right? It's not a standard needle, whatnot. Exactly. This is like old school, like way old school, ancient tradition on tattooing. So
yeah. Oh, and how were you not screaming at your TV when Samantha actually believes Akira? Like, she shows up with her whole life savings, going, "You idiot!" She was saying all the right things, but okay, well, ask how she broke her collarbone. Like, no, you should never even agreed to that in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I was just screaming at the TV. You idiot! I thought she was smarter than that.
She was played on her emotions, and I mean, Akira was being very, very dramatic, and and how about Tozawa and threatening to kill Katagiri's wife and children unless he backs off of him. Well, I mean,
whoa, okay.
That's when you're a cop and you have a family, that's the one thing you're afraid of, right? Is you go after a bad guy and the bad guy is going to go after your family. Mm-hmm. So it makes it for a very, very tough situation. Obviously, consider he sent his family away to protect them, but can he send them far enough away that they can't be found? Yeah. And it's just it'll be a cat and mouse game.
Yeah, how about Sato? Sato gets stabbed by the guy that he beat up, in the first episode. He gets stabbed, and we don't know if he's dead or not.
Well, he just got a whole lot of new responsibility, right?
The show, but
now Sam's in bed with the Yakuza.
Yeah.
And we'll become full partners. Yep. And it's like, geez.
Yep, and like you say, even if you have a bad month, so what? Cough it up.
It's
Give us our payment.
You can't not have a bad month. I mean, the only way for Samantha to deal with that is just takes her cut and just packs it away. There's a bad month, she can dip into it and say, "No, we're good." It's just a complete web tangle there. Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, It's crazy in such a good sense, because I mean, it is very entertaining. It's very, very intriguing. It's extremely fun to watch.
Speaking of fun to watch, sir, did you have fun watching Uncharted?
I did. I thought it was like a good popcorn movie.
Yeah, popcorn, like nothing you couldn't predict.
No,
right?
no.
Like,
I mean, although seeing Tom Holland as a full on adult doing the cocktail,
Yeah, I thought Cruise did it better, but yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Tom Cruise did it better.
He only did the behind the neck trick. He didn't do anything too. He wasn't juggling, but because I think he juggles, so I don't know why he wasn't doing what they call flair. Because I worked with a guy that did flair with those bottles. He could juggle. So I thought he would be doing.
Well,
more
he was
of that.
also like whipping everything around, and but being the bartender, and like knowing what pulling the vodka out from behind the bar in the crypt bar. Lighting it up and
yeah, but after seeing it, honestly, okay, now you can have an opinion, but do you think that he was just too young? I mean, because we know the video game, right? For the story that they told, no. But okay, I do.
I mean, if they had gotten for example, if they got Nathan Fillion to play it. It would have been a different story. It would have been like almost an, I guess you could say, origin story of, he's looking, trying to find his brother, blah, 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 blah. All that would have happened. We would have come into an Indiana Jones. It would have been a Raiders type of story where he's already established. He's already, do anything. They're older, so Sully's older. Kind of like that short that they did,
Yeah.
So,
but Mark Wahlberg still though pulled out the the action scenes. He was saying, I'm comfortable just flying the chopper, but he was still mixing it up. So to me, he could have easily have done it. I mean, I know he had the role for 10 years, but I think he still could have pulled it off.
Yeah.
Did you catch who the guy in the beach was? Did you like that?
Nolan North.
Yeah. Yep. The voice and the guy behind the motion capture.
Nolan
so I thought
North.
that was a pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I caught that one right away. I saw that one right away. I was like.
Yep, there had to be a reason why they were focusing on him.
Yeah,
saying
yeah. Well, when they started the conversation, like, you guys look like you've been through hell. It's like, double take. It's Nolan North. Nice. Yep. I mean, he's voiced so many characters that we know in animation, from Transformers to Avengers to Spider-Man to X-Men to, oh my God, so many. I remember he was the voice of in the I don't know if you remember a while ago they came out with an Avengers animated movie called Avengers Assemble.
Yes.
Yeah, he was the voice of Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's like you say, he's done his IMDb is a mile long.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So,
and he's more or less the look of Nathan Drake, like his, when you see his photos, he's actually even though he does the motion capture, they took a lot of his likeness for that character.
No, like I said, if they had gone with an older character, they would have told a different story. It wouldn't have been this story. It wouldn't have been Sully trying to get Nathan on board with the promise of finding his brother. Okay? It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have been that story. It would have been, like I said, an Indiana Jones. It would have been a Raiders type story where he's already established and they're going after something. So, for the story they told, I think Tom Holland did well. I think, like I said, it was entertaining. It was fun. He definitely got his physicality in on this one.
Yeah, but I thought a lot of the actions were way over even though it was fun to watch the whole cargo plane, it was over the top. Really, it was way over the top. But I mean, for what it was and what bugged me about the cargo thing, like right before they cut back to going to back to the past kind of thing, is you see his hair's going backwards, but he's falling down. His hair should have been going forwards. Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's a silly goof, but it's still a goof nonetheless.
Yeah.
And no, I thought it was smart. I thought it was interesting. You?
Well, like I said, it's a popcorn movie. You shut the brain off, and you just, it wasn't boring. But not, I thought it was just a pretty predictable action movie. And it even like boggles the mind. Like, let's just say they find the two ships at the end, and no one shows up. How do you think you're actually going to get the gold out of there? You know how much that gold weight? Like, there's no thought to.
Well, they found it. I think what they probably would have done was, take the duffel bag out, right? Get cash for it, get that, and then hire.
No, but I'm saying there was. Okay, I see what you mean, but that would have taken a long time.
It would have. I mean, if it wasn't
past authorities,
if it wasn't a race for time, but then again, like he said at the end, once the ship went down and whatnot, and they tried to go back for it. No, it's property of the Philippines. The Philippine authorities are already there. If they had staked the claim, then it would have been theirs.
Well, I don't know. There are some countries, no matter what, like, Greece, like, no, it's the property of the country, no matter who finds it. So I'm not sure, if what the laws are concerned.
Well, I'm going back to, what was it? Paul Walker, Scott Conn, Deep was not Blue.
Oh yeah, the shipwreck.
Yeah,
the treasure hunter.
Yeah. So if you find something, okay, you have to identify it, make the claim, and then it's yours. Yeah. Each
country has different laws. But the whole time watching it, did you think that his brother was alive, because I did, and sure enough, that pays off in the end credit scene, right?
I wasn't sure.
No, I was. I said, "There's no way they did." No, if they're thinking, but it's funny because everyone's asking Mark Wahlberg their sequel, and he says, "I don't do sequels." So, but I think if the money's right, and
he'll do a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say no to a second one, but.
Who else said they didn't do sequels and they've done a slew?
They wound up doing them.
It's like, here's 7 figures.
Yeah.
All right.
And he says he's pulling away from acting, but that could all be a negotiation tactic, as they always do.
Course.
I'm going to take a break.
I mean, I don't know. You never know, because you see some actors that spend it faster than they make it. And how many actually tuck it away until they say, "Yeah, I've got enough. I can live a good life. Let's go."
Yeah. Well, actually, watching, I told you I watched the whole season of Wahlberg, his documentary series, and he's let's just say he's diversified his portfolio. So yeah, he's got a hand in everything.
He's got all sorts of kinds of stuff. So
he's going clothing line, his his own gyms.
So,
he's been working at it.
That's a smart way to go. And then you have the Nick Cage way, where you just buy all the collectibles in the world and then go broke.
Well, that's how, and then have to pay off Uncle Sam, which he did, and
But I'm actually curious about the new movie he's in, about the weight of.
The weight of on something talent.
Where he plays himself.
Pedro. With the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal.
So
we have a bit of some sad news there, as you saw. Neal Adams died last week.
Another giant,
80-year-old. Yeah, I was telling everyone, look, after Stan Lee, it's Neal Adams. He's the only one really left from that old school. I mean, he was 80 years old, so he was just like Stan was at Marvel. Neal Adams was at DC, right?
Well, who else have we lost recently? There's a few artists that we've.
I mean, he started drawing for Archie Comics in '59. For God's sakes,
and he was part of some of the teams that revitalized comics as well. He redid Batman's look and made him much darker. He worked with Denny O'Neil on The Brave and the Bold, where Speedy gets caught doing heroin.
Oh yeah, I remember that famous comic.
Yeah, so I mean, he worked on a lot of stuff. And I mean, you've gotten a few of his drawings when he came to Montreal, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
so
and got his signature on a few.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a huge loss. When you have some of the forerunners of any industry, and they go down. But I mean, this one is such a beloved artist.
Yeah, I remember him seeing a documentary, and he couldn't believe that the creators of Superman weren't getting any money from that. So he single-handedly helped get them.
He was very vocal on that,
money.
Right? He was very vocal.
Yeah.
And he was no nonsense too. He'd tell you right to your face.
Yeah, considering how much money was made from Superman, $1 billion property. Yeah, he was.
Well, I mean. What was it? The 9.9 graded copy of Action Comics. One sold for $2 million.
Oh yeah, I think it's even higher now.
Probably
they just broke another record.
Probably, but I mean, come on. This is like, this like you say, next to Stan Lee going. This one is just as heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yep.
Salute you.
Well, salute you, sir.
Neal Adams.
Read some comics, people.
Always. Yeah.
All right, sir. That's all I got.
So let me ask you this. Are you going to brave the theaters for Doctor Strange?
Oh, yeah. I keep seeing clip after clip. So, yeah, I'm definitely going to. I don't know if you saw the latest trailer or freeze frame. Did you catch it?
Where they introduced where they confirmed the Illuminati?
Well, more so than that. They confirms someone from What If that I love, and I keep saying they should make a live action. They confirm that's in the trailer. Yes, Captain Carter. So I would go just to see that, even if it's 5 seconds. To see,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, just
definitely
fighting the Scarlet Witch in that clip.
Definitely worth seeing. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I probably will. Yeah, the weekend of probably. Yeah.
Well, that's next week, right? Next week.
Yeah. I'll probably try and catch it the Saturday then. Let me ask you this, since Picard will be over, will you be willing to take on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which covers season 1 of Pike, who Pike, as you know, was before Captain Kirk. So will you be willing or not willing?
I'll check out the first episode and see where it goes. I mean, I really haven't followed any new Star Trek since DS9.
Yeah.
So
no, I know, but this is, like I say, watch the first episode and see if you like it or not. That's coming on May 5th. Yeah. So,
What else do we have? We have coming up?
Well, you got to get through. We'll have Ozark wrapped up. All 7 episodes of Ozark
will definitely be
next week. But other than that, really, Doctor Strange, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds on the 5th. May 6th is Doctor Strange, and then May 27th, obviously, is Obi-Wan and Stranger Things and Top Gun. So we have 3 massive things coming out on the same day.
Mid-May, we got some playing to do.
Yeah, and end of May we have. And from what I hear, Top Gun, the people who've seen it at that CinemaCon are raving about it. So grown men are crying, I hear.
So through mid-May, things are going to drop a little. We got to get you to see Battlestar Galactica because you say you've never seen it.
Dude, I have like you. I have many shows that you don't watch that I do.
And there's many shows I watch that you don't. I've watched new movies, not new movies, but I watch movies and tons of stuff every night. So
thank you for correcting that. You watch new movies. Thank you.
So
I just watched Top Secret for the 62nd time. Yeah, I believe you.
But I have binge watched entire series while while we waiting for other things to come out. So.
And on June 3rd, don't forget, we have The Boys Season 3.
Yes.
June 8th, Miss Marvel on Disney Plus. And then, of course, The Umbrella Academy Season 3, June 22nd. Oh. So actually, May, June, and July are stacked, pretty much.
I just saw this on YouTube. I don't know if you've heard, Stephen Colbert is a big D&D fan. Have you?
Yes, he is. I knew that.
He just did an adventure on Critical Role, the group that brought Legends of Vox Machina to Prime. They just did a charity adventure on their Twitch channel the other night. It's on YouTube if anybody wants to see it.
He's also a massive Lord of the Rings fan, and he'll challenge guests on a show to trivia, or the guests will come on thinking they know a lot about trivia of Lord of the Rings, and he always wins.
Well, I saw some clips of it. I got tuned into the Twitch channel just to catch a look, and he dressed up for it. He put a fake scar across his face, he's a fighter and whatnot. And just listening to him tell the story, it's this is really. I know you haven't watched it, and you haven't. I've gotten so enthused by these people because they just what they brought to life, and how they turned just a weekly D&D game into this huge thing. I mean, these guys fill Hall H when they do a live show. That's how popular they are. So
yeah, they're doing what we want to do. Yeah, basically.
You want to play D&D?
Well, if, even this could lead to something.
Absolutely. We can be interviewing people on the IMDb boat.
Yeah. We got 3 celebrities that, heard us. Hey, I'd like to come on. What? You would? Okay. and then then we take off and we're filling Hall H.
Yeah. But no, it's funny. Actually, they sometimes they do tour. They go to all the Comic Cons and everything. They get they fill it and they do a live game. And what was it? I think it was in Chicago, where the crowd, when it first started, the whole crowd sang their theme song. And I'm like, whoa, this is for a D&D game, So, like I said, I like these guys. They're all voice actors. They've worked on everything that we all love animated wise. So, I mean, It's fun. Their show Legend of Vox Machina. If you haven't seen it on Prime, definitely something to look into because it's it's the highest crowd-funded show ever done when they went through crowdfunding. So anyway, Stephen Colbert's episode is up on their YouTube channel, Critical Role. So I mean, it's if you're into it, it's a good watch. It's a good watch.
All right, let's bring us home, Mark.
All right, so you can find us on our social media. Search Butcher Bay Rejects on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter at Bay Rejects. You can find us on Facebook at Bay Rejects. Also on TikTok at Bay Rejects. And our website, www.butcherbayrejects.com. Actually, TikTok is at Butcher Bay Rejects. Facebook is at Butcher Bay Rejects. Yeah, I did say that, didn't I? Yeah.
I still stand by you should write this down. But anyway, go on. Okay.
And you can find us on all the podcast platforms, on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, Alexa Tune In. Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah. All right. This has been Butcher Bay Rejects. I'm Mark.
I'm Greg. See you next week.
Have
nerds.
a good one. Bye.
Bye.